For the Startup and Investors track, we're talking with Yolanda Barton, founder of Revere XR. Let's get started. Yolanda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, Nathan, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do in the metaverse?
Well, my name is Yolanda Barton, and I use VR to preserve memories, right? The things that at the end of the day are most important to us. I preserve our stories and things that we're at jeopardy of losing if we don't preserve them. So I think one of the most important uses we can use VR for is preservation of the things we want to show future generations and the things we want to make sure we value in our society. So what have we learned? What have we been through? Let's share those stories. So I consider myself an immersive storyteller, the immersive storyteller.
Can you tell me, I love that by the way, can you tell me a little bit about how you facilitate the documentation of memories in VR? It sounds very interesting.
Mhm. Well, it really is a two-part process because we have to preserve the stories first. So let's dive into the archive and the memories and let's pull out what needs to be preserved. Let's combine them with the stories that have been told about them. And I don't mean what's in the media, I mean real stories from the root of it. I, for example, preserved a neighborhood in Seattle that's rich with music. It's where Jimi Hendrix was born. It's where Sir Mix-a-Lot became a DJ. It's where Quincy Jones learned about music. It's where Ray Charles came to experience and share music. And there's so many musicians like that. And so now it's time to recreate those experiences and those spaces. So now we're preserving not only the memory, but the geographic space that it took place in.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to see more. How often are you in the metaverse and what do you do there?
Oh my gosh. So here's what's so exciting about the metaverse is that we have a future opportunity to create something better that has less divisions than what we're experiencing in the real world today. And if everybody approached it with that concept, we would wake up thinking about the metaverse. We would want to get in the metaverse and build. And that's what I do. So I recently just finished Oculus Launchpad. So I spent a lot of time in the metaverse building this neighborhood. And I'm beginning a world builder program because I care about the future of what worlds are built. So we're building for the now, but we're building for the future too. So what do you want your kids and grandkids to say about us, right? And our family and friends. So I'm looking forward to building really inclusive worlds that make people feel like they have a sense of belonging. People that wouldn't originally show up in spaces, but yet feel comfortable and valued in those spaces. We have an opportunity to thread inclusion into the metaverse, and that is what I'm here to do day and night, honey.
Oh my goodness. I'm actually hosting an on Portland event next week on the 25th that's called Entering XR, Building Identity, Community, and Connection in the metaverse. And it's a lot
That's
about
my language.
representation, in
Yes,
accessibility,
yes,
interoperability, and we're
yes.
we're diving into it with Caitlin Krause and Dr. Donna Davis, looking at how identity and accessibility relate to avatars and how we're able to show up in different platforms. So
I'm in love with this topic. And how do I get to your event? Seriously.
awesome. I will make sure that you have the meetup link. Please do join the Awe
Yes.
Night Portland meetup group on Meetup. We would also love to talk with you more later on in the year.
Yes.
As somebody who's in the startup competition, you've got a lot to share with the judges and investors at Augmented World Expo. Is there a big idea that you're hoping to share with your audience at AWE 2022?
Yes, that's the power to transform how we connect through storytelling, even in VR. I think the real challenge is that a lot of people don't believe that storytelling belongs in VR. So I get the amazing opportunity to transform people's ideas because I'm here to prove that it does. And I have a full proof concept that will change anybody's mind.
I can't wait for a competition. That's going to be fantastic. On the flip side, is there something that you're hoping to learn or experience at the?
I mean, talk about how much wisdom and expert thought leadership is in one room, in one space, at one time. How do I absorb all of that? Like all of it, right? How do I get to be able to see what other people see through their eyes and see how it helps me grow in this industry?
It's
I am here for it. I'll give up sleep so I can meet everyone and speak to everyone and learn from everyone.
the community at awe is really one of the huge selling points that everyone talks about. So you will be in good company. I'm sure there will be lots of great conversations. We are already in the speed round. Do you have a metaverse avatar? And if so, what does it look like?
Well, I'll be honest, I do have a metaverse avatar. I look forward to helping to shape and grow our concepts of how those avatars can really represent our differences. Because me and a lot of people that play VR that are around me don't really feel like the avatars really do represent us. So I look forward to sharing more ideas about how that can come full round and people can feel more valued and excited about those. But honestly, I do have an avatar. She has braids. She definitely has glasses. The earrings aren't big enough, but they'll do for now.
I was going to ask, are there specific areas in avatar building or creating a metaverse identity where you think there's work to be done? Or
Oh,
where
there's
you
so much work to be done around that. And here's the thing. So I am a consultant. I'm a diversity and inclusion consultant. So I can have this conversation comfortably, right? I have these conversations daily. And it just is a fact. There has to be more differences available than what we currently have
hmm
in that world. And whether it's accessories or hair or fashion, right? Or beauty products
hmm
or whatever it is, to get to the heart of people is a difficult challenge. So I'm it's definitely not easy. There's so many differences amongst all of us, but we want to make people be excited about stepping into this space. And one of the ways you can deter that from happening is to not have representation available at their
hmm
fingertips.
As a non-binary person, when I go into the metaverse, I have a very bizarre experience. Even just this morning, I was setting up a VR account. And when I was setting up the account, the developers thought in their forms to offer multiple options for gender. There was male, female, prefer not to answer, non-binary.
Yeah.
But then when I came into the editor and started to make my avatar, there were two. There was male and female. And it was a little surprising to me to have encountered that identity question earlier and then to
Early
have a
on.
different answer
And do you
when
know
we get
why?
into the environment.
Do you know why? Because we've understood that it's politically correct to have the right boxes to fill, but we still haven't gotten to the root of why the differences are important. So there's short term buy in and there's real buy in,
Well,
right?
and what you said just a moment ago really struck me, right? It's not that we have to make it look like everyone precisely, but we need to offer them the ability to share
The
their
rep-
heart with us.
yes, and the representation option has to be available. And there is no short term, what box do we put? You really have to understand why differences can strengthen us to be able to have the forward thinking foresight to know what to include. So if you're just looking for quick answers, you're never really going to meet the need. Consulting company to the world.
Now we have kind of a special question, and it's really the opportunity to introduce us to or give a shout out to somebody who's impacted your journey or learning or experience of the metaverse. Is there anybody that you'd like to introduce us to or say thanks to?
Absolutely. There's so many people, but there are people that I really look to that are like my Shiras, honestly, that make me excited about taking a step further every single day in forcing myself to never question my belonging and what I bring to the table. I think my big time Shira of all is Robin. Robin Ennis. She's with Facebook Reality Labs. And here's why, because my background's in diversity and inclusion. And I know how difficult it is day in and day out to make the basis of your company having conversations with leadership about how to weave the thread of inclusion into everything they do. And then for her to transition that into the Facebook Reality Labs and be in the future of VR, that is like my Shira. So Kathy Hackle, I think she's amazing too. And I think she values
Godmother.
diversity. And I think her voice is important in representing and creating space for women leadership in VR. She is my Shira too. Clarama, she was an Oculus Launchpad winner, and I just recently finished Oculus Launchpad, and I thought her work was groundbreaking and is one of the reasons I wanted to apply because I was like, whoa, if they value her idea, I can show up 100% as myself. Okay. And Denisha Lawrence claiming space. Listen, I'm all about representation. So to me, these aren't just like leaders in VR. They understand the importance of inclusion. They are promoting, belonging for everyone in the work that they're doing and in the future of tech. So, whew, I get really excited. There needs to be happy hour between all of these people one day.
I'm buying the first round for sure if
Okay.
I can sit at
Right.
that table. That sounds amazing. Uh,
Absolutely.
Yolanda, I want to say thank you. You sort of challenged my morning in the metaverse, where you have very altruistic, idealistic, but we need to go build it. Opinion about the metaverse that was just a breath of fresh air for me and somebody who has a lot of these conversations about where there's gaps or where we need to grow. And I'm just really inspired by your approach and your vision of the metaverse of a better place, but we have to be responsible in building it. Is there anything that we missed or anything else that you'd like to share with the AWE audience?
I'm just so taken back by what you just said to me that I can't even handle the question.
Eh,
But what you just said is exactly why I want to do what I want to do. So you just made me see that I can have an impact just one conversation at a time.
I, I've played the skeptic, kind of in these interviews a lot because I want to get to where's the value, how do we help people, how do we really make it matter? And that's felt like something that was hard or some sort of charge. And you see it as this North Star and a possibility in a way that was just so refreshing. I really appreciate it.
This is exactly what I'm here to do is bring this into the tech space along with reverence and an understanding of what it means to be positive contributors into the space. So I do come with that challenge. Show me why what you do matters. You know what I mean, to us, and what impression is it leaving for our grandkids.
Ah, you mentioned wanting just to meet people, to learn, to really engage at the expo. Is there anything in particular that you're hoping to learn more about, dive into, partnerships or folks that you're trying to meet while you're at the
Well, to
expo?
be real, I'm trying to fund my VR company. I am trying to fund the next experience. I have a solid prototype that needs to be completed, so I need to expand it and finish building the baseline structure. And I need to build it for future episodic content, yes, because my VR company does that too. So there is the importance of preserving archives into the future, contracting stories, and creating experiences, and then making them available to the people and through education. That's what I'm here to do for those people that want to see VR grow in that way and create an empire at the same time, because there's no judgment in having both. Then I look forward to those that are looking to fund the future of this work, because we are the future of VR. This is the future of XR, this work.
Oh my goodness, there is no better place to wrap that there. Yolanda Barton, founder of Revere XR, the
Yes.
future of VR, and our representative with the AWE 2022 preview for the Startups and Investors Trek. Yolanda, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh,
It has been an
it has been a
extreme pleasure.
pleasure. I have a friend. Thank you. This was so amazing.